Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 on Bobrujsk West, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 5th Panzer. It's been a while since I actually played with the 5th Panzer. I haven't played with them since the beta, I think. And in this case I'm using a Juggernaut deployment type, which means we're going to be going heavily towards the late game, although we'll see how well we can do in the early game as well. We do have obviously a pretty decent division, so it shouldn't struggle too much early on. I'm going to be joined by Tiny Rick on my team, who is using the 14th Infantry, and on the opposing side we have Strong Snacks and Sombra, who are using the 29th Tank Corps and the 3rd US Armoured, so another couple decent divisions for sure. Go ahead and throw some pioneers into this town. Just gonna make sure they're like so, and we'll bring up also some Panzer. They can sit on top of that and provide us with the command there. I'm also tempted to bring up a Tiger on top. If we bring up a Tiger, say here, we could easily cover this road. So I think I might actually go ahead and do that. We'll just give that a quick hunt order up onto the hill. Over on this side, I am very tempted to get an AT gun into this tree line just to cover this road in case anything decides to push us. So we'll make sure we'll do an unload at position command. I should probably do, I was going to say unload at position with these, but I already have. I'm getting into the habit, guys, of using unload at position finally instead of the old school fast move and then shift unload. The reason I used to do that was because in Steel Division 44 the unload at position was pretty unreliable, and I don't think it's as bad now in Steel Division 2, so yeah, we're all good. Alright, we're going to get a couple Panzer grounds to go into these buildings, and I might also bring some recon here as well. I put the recon like right in the middle of one. That's all good. And then I'm going to need tanks for either side, so we'll bring in a Tiger. Actually, maybe I could concentrate my push somewhere. We could concentrate towards this if I bring a Panther as well. Pretty risky, but I reckon we can make it work. Take away one of these 259s and put it on the right hand side. So the idea will be to just push up to these trees, and then we'll go from there. I have the Panther sneak through on the right hand side, I think, and we'll just have it push through the light forest here, and we'll try and push towards that objective. I'm going to bring a couple Panzergrens with me, and that should be everything for now. I'm likely to bring in maybe a mortar at some point to back it all up. That can be my first tick. Yeah, I think we'll just get these mortars in at some point with the 250. The 257 half tracks, because they are very difficult to counter battery while still providing really nice concentrated corrected shot. So that's what we're going to be going for. Alright, looks like we're off. 20 seconds till launch. Just going to click the launch button. This seems to be okay for now. Let's see how we get on. So yeah, 3 heavy tank start. Quite something. Not something I've actually done for a long time, especially considering I never really play the Axis heavy tank divisions. So this will be nice. Going back to the beta divisions. So yeah, I'm probably going to just save my first tick for the mortar, then we'll buy in another one straight away after that. Well, I guess it depends if anything dies and we need to replace it, but I don't think it will. I think we'll be okay. I could actually probably have one of these pioneers stay on the edge of the town just in case they come up this road, which they most likely will. But I do have my 259s that can definitely help. Now, Tiny Rick's taking the left-hand side, I'm taking the right-hand side, obviously, and just putting this one unit up into the middle, that's fine. We have already put a lot of pressure onto this point. Let's see if we can maybe squeeze that a bit more. We're going to play defensive here. I might actually bring my Kubel MG over to the right though. Awesome. Alright, let's have these 259s just get into the buildings here. Or at least like drive into the gardens, that's what I mean. They obviously can't get in the building itself. Alright, he's using half tracks, so my 259 should be able to get the better of him. As my Opelblitz is pretty fast. They're pretty fast indeed. Oh, and the Strelki have been unloaded in the face of the Panzergrens and the 259. They're going to get demolished. Yeah, they're dead. Very dead. So the right flank's kind of open for now. Let's go ahead and move forwards a little bit. I do need to save for another artillery piece, but I'm going to have enough anyway, so I'm going to bring in a Panzergren and then we'll get that afterwards. Cool. Right, I'm tempted to move up one of these Panzergrens just to try and probe a little bit of ground. I should also put some units into here so that we can't, or so we don't lose this side of the hill, because if we lose this side then they can get into a position to potentially hit my reinforcing roads, which would be pretty sad. We've got a plane coming in from Sombra. That's going to be a P-47D. You don't want to head on that, Tiny Rick, or maybe you do. Getting a pilot panic there. Those P-47s can be pretty lethal sometimes. We're getting a nice salient on the right hand side, but it's not actually doing too much because there's no points to capture up here. So I need to push further to the left, which is a pretty dangerous place for my Panthers and Tigers to be, but I guess we'll just continue as is for now. I'm going to bring in some AA over here just to cover us in the sky. We're getting a nice ranged engagement there against the Ognemichiki. Managed to kill them off. Our grenade did the job. And yeah, I'm glad I put the Pioneers on that far side, because they're able to help deal with the Strelki there. I do have my 259s that can move up as well. Let's do that. Ooh, there is a T-34 on the way. I'm just waiting for the ISs to arrive as well. Although he might not bring an IS in Phase A. Famous last words. Those are just two T-34s. Is that another T-34? I think it is. So he's relying on T-34s in the early game, I guess, and then he's going to probably switch it up to IS-2s in the mid-game. That's probably the plan. Let's just stop these so that we can open up. Those Strelki are actually pretty strong. Let's start mortaring them. Mustn't forget about these mortars I've brought in. One mortar behind as well. I'm just going to have the Panzergrens then run towards that location. Ooh, nice hit, nice hit. This is not a good position for his T-34s. They do have to rush me if they want to get kills, but he's going to be pulling them off to one side, hopefully trying to hide them from my shots. He is successful in doing so. Although he's revealing it again, it's not good. Alright, we found the Avtos there, going to be able to surrender those. Nice. Let's see if we can put enough pressure onto this point to capture it. Currently Tiny Rick is doing a decent job against Sombra here, as Tiger's getting the better of the Jumbo for now. We've got two Tigers. Tiny Rick at the start there. One of my 259s has just died. Oh yeah, we're actually not in a good position there in the center to deal with that. I guess I have my Tiger here, which is okay, but I'm going to have to bring in some infantry to secure this area. I'm also going to bring in some Panzervernichtungs to this town, and that will give us a Panzerfaust to take on the T-34. So, considering we're playing Juggernaut and we're already in the lead here, it's only going to go downhill unless Strong Snacks can find ways to shut down my Tigers in these positions. He could build up a force of T-34s and rush me. That would be one way to do it, or just pin them down with artillery is another way. Since I actually haven't moved them yet, so any artillery coming in could definitely start pinning them. That would be one way to do it. I've got to be very careful with our engagements here. If we can get a grenade off onto the Avtos, that's fine. I can jump back and avoid that fire for now. They should blow up. There we go. I've run out of grenades on the left hand side. That's not good. Alright, do I push my Tiger up? This is pretty dangerous in the center. I think the center is one place where they could actually make some ground if they put a lot of effort into it. So the Pioneers are just going to secure that area, and the Panzergrens are going to come to the right. Okay, where are we going to go from here? I should probably bring in some more Panzergrens to just replace the ones that I'm probably going to start charging forwards. That's an AA piece. There's a T-34. I think from here, the Tiger definitely has like barely any, well, there's barely any penetration chance from the T-34s there. Look at this Tiger camo, looks really cool. Works very well on this map. Not that camo really makes a difference in the game mechanics, but there we go. Got to be careful not to let the Tiger show its side armor there. That's for sure. Alright, let's push through. And we'll see what we can do. Oh, I do need to be careful of the Avtos, of course. And that grenade could tear us to pieces. If he house hops one more time, we're in bad trouble. We're going to need some more troops here. Looks like it's going to be down to the Panzervernichtungs's. Alright, let's have a look over here. We've got our reinforcements arriving. Perfect. Now what I can do is have these push more aggressively and replace their positions. Alright, good. And while we're doing that, push forwards with the 259 and the Tiger, get them to the edge of the trees. Alright. Probably keep an eye on it just in case. I've found the Avtos there on the edge of the trees, which is good. That's, I believe, an anti-air we saw earlier. Probably doesn't need to invest into too much anti-air, especially against 5th Panzer. I mean, in my case, I only bring in Focke-Wulf 190s, which I could use to strafe. But since the latest patch, strafing aircraft are not as good, I don't think. And AA is actually stronger, so I don't know, maybe it is a good idea. That Avto is still causing problems. Alright, Panzervernichtung did the job. So unload these guys before they die to the Strelki. Get them in the buildings. Let's move the 259 forwards. And I'm going to have the Tiger push through. Alright, we're going to lose that engagement. Oh, my Tiger might help out a bit. I can't really move the Panzergrens or they'll just die like extra quick. So I've just got to hope that maybe we pin them down with the Tiger before they die. And if we can do that, then we can surrender them, obviously. That's kind of the plan there. This T-34 is causing issues. We're now into phase B though, so we've got more Tigers at our disposal. I'm going to bring a couple more for this hill. Actually going to bring a Panzer IV with that, and we'll make sure to use our commander. So I'll bring the commander in like so. So we did manage to pin them. The Tiger did the job. Nice. On this right hand side, my Panzergrens are still in a tough spot. Let's see about moving through here with the Panther and the 259. Just a nice progressive push. Oh, here comes the artillery. My Tiger's in such a weird position there. Like, it could be flanked from this side. There's a T-34 there, there's a T-34 here. If Strong Snacks goes for that, then he could have found potentially the kill onto the Tiger. And against a Juggernaut division, you really want to try and make the plays early, especially taking out things like Tigers in the early game against this sort of division is something you really should strive to do, because otherwise I'm just going to have Tigers to cover my Tigers, and that's a really, really tough spot to get out of. So for example, in this case, it won't matter if I'm sitting here soon, because I'm going to have 2 Tigers and one can face each way. So unless you micro individually the armor facing, then yeah, it's going to be trouble. Ooh, is that a... Well, that's an M10. Okay. Wow, that was pretty lucky. I didn't lose my Tiger E there. Oh, here come the IS. But are they not quick enough? That is the question. Oh, nice side shots coming in from the 259. The M10 here is very weak side armor. 25 mils. And my 259, oh, it's dead to the IS-2. Now the IS-2s, these are great at close range because they have really low accuracy, so but crazy high penetration. So at close range, that's actually a good thing because you sort of nullify the accuracy, but you still maintain the high penetration. So the IS-2 can just crush my Tiger in close quarters combat. And maybe not so much a Panther, because the Panther's penetration is going to be high enough to kind of be a threat. But at the end of the day, the IS-2s are generally better overall, like stat-wise. That's probably not a good engagement for my Panzergrands. Alright, well, we're going to continue forwards. See about getting our mortars into range. I mean, they're probably already in range, I just need to get corrected shot on them. Maybe we could just mortar them anyway. Oh, there's also 1944 T-34-85s now as well. Again, another problem for us. I need to try and clean out the infantry that's in the middle of this town. And then what I can do is use these pioneers to push across. Oh, took out an Su-85. We got an incendiary on my Panther here. That's not good. Oh no, my Panther shot at the T-34 instead of the Su-85. Targeting the Su-85 would have been better in that situation because the Su has the penetration. It's currently using APCR against us, so it's getting a load of criticals but not actually to kill, which is why that's happening. But either way, let's move forwards our Tiger and try and take out this T-34-85. The T-34-85 does suffer from having quite a slow aim time, so we'll try and get on top of that. Let's move the 259 over here. I use a quick hunt order to move in that direction. And looks like my pioneers did manage to defeat an infantry unit there. Let's now move this way with these Panzergrands, and I'll make sure that my Panzer IV is following my Tiger here. So I'm just going to right click on that. Oh, is this going to work? Okay, here we go. We're going for the shot onto the T-34-85. We just got hit by a spalling hit. Spalling, what that does is it just means that it took more damage. So if it gets hit again, it's very likely to die. We are being pushed back. There's now 3 minutes until minor defeat instead of like 2 minutes. But we'll have to wait and see if it's actually enough. I don't think it will be, because Tiny Rick is doing a great job on the left-hand side. My Tiger is going to have to keep falling back. There is nothing I can do there until my Panther arrives. I'm going to bring up a couple more Panthers to the right, and we'll bring up a Panzer IV to go with them. And I'm going to start mortaring the position where the IS is going to have to come into that. So now I need to come down here and up to here with the pioneers so that I can flush out any infantry in that tree line. And then what we need to do is start pushing the pioneers into these trees so that I can then move the Tigers to the edge of the hill. And when that happens, there's not really much chance for these two objectives. We will be able to capture them nicely. Oh, we managed to bounce that shot, and it's a turret stuck for the 1944. Okay, well it looks like he's just about managed to get that out of the way before it took another shot from the Panther. It was turret stuck forwards, which is probably the best way for the turret to be stuck, because then it actually still fires when it faces its front armor. Because tanks by default, they face front armor. Oh, we've actually got 64% penetration, but yeah, we'd already taken damage, so we're just going to end up spalling that guy. which is unfortunate. Is our Panther going to be able to do the job instead? And that's the way you use IS-2s. They are perfect in that position. Right, I start mortar in that area. See if we can keep that pinned. We do have another unit of Pioneers. I should end up blowing up these Strelki. Yeah, okay, we got a grenade onto them. That's good. And since we're finding these units, I should start moving up my Tigers now. So that's going to clean out this tree line. We're going to move our Panzergrens across. Get the Tiger into position up here. Very good. We don't have any like command really on this right hand side. And this unit can stay there on return fire. I'm going to have this one actually push forwards. Oh, my poor Kubel MG actually died. Oh, and now the loader's knocked out on my Panther 8. Oh, its tracks broke. Oh, and the IS-2, it gets taken out. Was that a mortar shot that killed that? I feel, if that was the case, I feel so sad. I feel like a mortar went straight through the hatch or something. They left the hatch open, boys. I think that was a mortar shot. But yeah, a good game. Unfortunately, couldn't really shut down my push in phase A, so left me with infinite pressure in the late game. And after 17 minutes and 9 seconds, that's going to be victory. We got a pretty nice KD, but Tiny Rick stealing the show with the 1,940 kills to 580 losses. Really good job with the 14th Infantry. The 14th Infantry, incredibly strong, well-rounded division. So nicely done there by Tiny Rick. So that is Bobrujsk West. I think that's the first time I've actually played that map. And that was a little look at the 5th Panzer, I guess. I was hoping to get more into the late game and sort of explore, I guess, the IS-2 engagements with the Panthers. But I guess it kind of worked out exactly as I expected. Panthers can compete with those tanks, the IS-2s at close range, but, well, I guess so can the Tigers, but the Tigers have a much less penetration chance than a Panther does due to the AP difference. So there we go. Pretty cut and dry game. I tried to include as much sort of information as I can because I realized that after I put up this tutorial there are still many questions and you guys would like me to do advanced tutorials. I will get around to doing that, of course. Also, on another note, make sure to go and join my Discord. There's a link in the description if you would like to play some games, and make sure to check out my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming this weekend at 8 PM BST on Saturday and Sunday, so make sure to go check that out. But that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.